Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships development blog, where several days ago, Wargaming dropped a massive dev blog on Thursday, and I saw it and I kind of briefly glanced through it, but then I realized when I came back again, I'm like, oh my gosh, they changed a lot of things. There's a lot of new balances coming into the game with public test 14.0. So I normally don't do the development blogs, but only if they're significant. So this is a significant dev blog, so we're going to go through it today. So we're applying balance changes to a large number of ships based on an analysis of both their combat statistics and player feedback. So first off, you got the Soviet premium battleship. They're increasing the Sigma. 1.4 to 1.5. I don't remember if I have that ship. I probably do, but I don't play it. But yeah, Sigma, if you're newer to the games, Sigma is like the chances of the shells landing in the center of the target where you're aiming. So the higher the number, the better. Whereas like horizontal and vertical dispersion, like the lower the better in terms of meters. Let's see, Renown. Remain battery guns parameters changed. The reload time is reduced 23.5 to 22. Okay, so then with the drill and rush rate, you can get like under 19 or under 20. Shell ballistics improved. They will now become flatter. Stock gunfire control system range increased 15.8 to 16.3. Researchable gunfire control system range increased 17.4 to 17.9. Turret traverse time decreased 45 to 30. Wow, that is like a massive buff for Renown. It's kind of interesting to see how they're like, you know, here's two tier 6 ships right off the bat, and yeah, I wouldn't expect that big of a buff on Renown. There you go. Colonel Baloney, as I like to refer to this ship, maximum AP shell damage increased from 3,000 to 3,200. Combat instructions parameters changed. Consumable reload and preparation bonus increased 75 to 80. Wasn't that like what the other ones already did? I was looking at Zal. San Martin. They have that down here. 85%. Oh, okay. Okay, well there you go. They actually, there's going to be several Italian destroyers that they buff. The tech tree line, and honestly, I don't think you got it right, Wargaming. I mean, they need something, but I don't think it was this. So, the emergency engine power consumable parameters changed. They increased your action time 25 to 40 seconds, which is actually pretty nice. And then reload time decreased from 160 to 120 seconds. Because here's the thing that was actually kind of frustrating around this, is 25 seconds wasn't really enough to YOLO and quickly get away. Because these torpedoes, I'll just show you. Luca. Tarigo. I mean, of course, you're like, yeah, Flimsy, it's a tier 7 destroyer, but hold the thought. They only do 10,000 damage, and that stays relatively similar as you go up the line. So you have to make sure that your target, because you only get 6 torpedoes, right? So that's 60,000 maximum damage, and if you're reloading a battleship, and you know, torpedo belt protection, a number of amount of hit points, and do all 6 of your torpedoes hit, it's hard to like YOLO kill things because the torpedoes are so anemic, in addition to the gun range being so anemic with the reload time. But so what happens is you rush a target, and maybe you don't kill it, and then you didn't have, maybe as an example, let's say that the additional 15 seconds to like continue to like get away really quickly, because that engine boost is a 25% engine boost time. So if like let's say you're running Sierra Mike, let's see, that puts your maneuverability up to 39, and then can I toggle effects here? Right click an icon, toggle effects, so then up to 50 knots, right? Or 49.40. Let's see. So that's good. I mean, it helps, but the reason why I think this is the worst tech tree line in the game is the torpedoes are anemic and your gun range is like absurdly bad. 7.5 kilometers for a tier 7 destroyer when you can be going up against tier 9 destroyers. Yeah, and a 6.5 second reload time. But most tier 7 destroyers don't have an amazing reload time. There's some that do, but not all. Both the British subs changed secondary battery shell ballistics. They will now become flatter. Oh yay, buff subs. Belfast 43, main battery guns reload time reduced 10 to 8.5. HE shell fire chance 9 to 11. Turret traverse time reduced 25.7 to 22.5. Number of advanced radar charges increased 2 to 3. So that's a massive buff for Belfast 43. I do have it, but I don't really ever go to it to play it. But that's a pretty big buff. Dmitry Pozolsky. I think the ship only had AP shells, but maximum AP shell damage increased 3,000 to 3,300. Yeah, because you don't see many of these ships, so. The Vittorio Condaruti, same thing. Engine power, action time increased, reload time decreased. Split main battery gun reload time reduced 3.6 to 3.4. Torpedo launcher speed or torpedo launcher reload time reduced 68 to 60. Ooh. Wow. Well. Let's go see, shall we? I'm just like thinking. Yeah, I don't think anything else I mean, let's say you're running that. Okay, so right now, we just buffed the torpedo speed. So here it shows the 68. So then, like, if we did a little commander build. So this brings your reload time down to 61 seconds. But then take it roughly, take the 8 seconds off. Then you're just above 50 seconds for, I mean, it's only 6 torpedoes, but it's actually not too shabby. And then, let's say adrenaline rush is 40%. Yeah, like could it be 46, 47, all said and done? Champagne. While Champagne performs well in terms of damage, her impact on the battle is somewhat low. Therefore, we're adding the main battery reload booster consumable to better help her impact battles at important moments. So they added main battery reload booster consumable with the following parameters: 3 charges, 15 second reload time of 60 seconds, bonus to main battery reload negative 50%. I'm kind of interested because I thought, isn't Champagne only have 2 main battery guns? No, she has 3. Okay. Or 2x3 406s. Durr. Yeah. Okay. And then what was the reload time? 28.6. Interesting. Alright, then we got the Marco Polo. Main battery guns reload time reduced 36 to 34.5. Yeah, you don't see that ship much, and I think as a Deadeye made the ship quite strong, actually. And then we can get the reload time down even more. So 31.6, and then we're taking. So that would get you should. You have maybe 34. Yeah, about a 30-second reload time. Before Adrenaline Rush would kick in, as an example, because yeah, you'd probably really want that. So Dmitry Donskoy, Surveillance Radar Consumable Action Time increase 25 to 30. Okay. Sorry, I kind of actually like seeing how this ends up shaking out when you like build into certain things. Second slot, radar. And then I don't know, let's say you're doing something like, okay, so just with that alone, radar, that brings you up to 30, because without, it's like the 25, yeah. So what, 35, it's a percentage based, right? So 36 seconds, and then if I extend this. Then we're looking at 33, 33. Okay, so you can get maybe closer to 40. Yeah, 38 roughly. Okay, okay. Heisen main battery guns reload time reduced 38 to 34. Okay, I have this ship, and honestly, that made this ship garbage, like complete garbage. So, I think it was Heisen a dockyard battleship? So I mean, you had this 38-second reload time with these 410mm guns, right? 8, and it's like they made it like Minnesota is kind of what it felt like. So even with this, you can only get down to 33.44. So now that you're actually going to be able to get under a 30-second reload time with the main battery mod 3. Does it make the ship more playable? Maybe? Maybe? Because, I mean, like, you just take Minnesota over Heisen. Like, I would. Why would I take Heisen? Like, I mean, there's not anything really special about the ship. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, you get a 40-second cooldown time in the main battery, and you get 12 457s instead of just 8 410s. Or 4x3. Okay. Yeah, 4x3. Alright. Dalian, main battery gun parameters changed, range increased from 13.5 to 14.1, reload time reduced 4.9 to 4.5. Okay, that was when they brought the new Pan-Asian cruisers into the game. This was the premium tier 9 version they released, so you don't see the ship too much. We got Tulsa, which the dispersion improved now corresponds with the standard destroyer shell dispersion pattern. So that's tight. That's some tight dispersion. So that's probably similar to like, if you're not familiar with Tulsa, it's like a Des Moines but tier 9 version, but it's only got, I think it was, if it's 6 203s. I mean, you kind of crap on tier 7 when you're top tier. Yeah, so it's literally just just the 6 203s, but to have even a tighter dispersion with the Sigma of 2.05, oofda. So a little better. Adriatico, same thing we've already talked about with the engine boost with the tier 7. Lambros Katsonas main battery reload time reduced 3.8 to 3.3. Torpedo launcher reload time reduced, also 68 to 60. So so there's a split, and they didn't touch the tier 7. Okay, because that actually, I don't really know if you would. Because once you hit tier 9, right, you can take the torpedo tubes mod. So we get faster reloading torps as an example. Go away. So then now, brain spacing 52 second. Oh, that was without. So what? If you're looking around like a 45 second reload time, and then like let's say Adrenaline Rush puts you at like 50. That's a little nasty. In addition to the main battery guns being reload time being reduced, because you kind of played this as a little bit maybe hybrid, because of having the guns, right? So let's see, if I take the guns away, it's the 3.4. Oh, because I'm running. Wait, no, it's because Adrenaline Rush was active. 3.8. 3.34, and then like let's say you went gun route 2. Yeah, you can get the reload time down to like 2.5. That's not even talking about like Fearless Brawler. Like let's say you had Fearless Brawler on and half Adrenaline Rush. Yeah, so you can be under like 2.5 second reload time. That's kind of nasty. To Sergey, main battery guns reload time reduced 25 to 24. HE shell ballistic parameters change. This will result in the flight trajectory becoming flatter, identical to that of the AP shells of the ship. Turning radius reduced 970 to 890. Number of repair party consumables increased 2 to 4. You can't actually buy the ship right now, right? I didn't think you could buy. I don't think it's available in the armory. Okay, tier 9. I'm pretty sure it's not Japanese. Iwami. I don't think it's in the premium shop either, because it was, I don't even remember, it was as when they released the new Japanese battleship line is when they released this ship. And then, yeah, I don't remember what all it had. I feel like it had something interesting about it. Did it also have torpedoes? I just completely spelled that wrong. Can't spell, guys. Yeah, the torpedo reload booster. Yeah, 2x4. Oh yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, because of just the where they're positioned. Yeah, Type 93 deep water yeah, I had deep water torpedoes, right? And then you get a torpedo reload booster. That was funny. Republic Sigma value increased 2 to 2.1. Okay, that's pretty nasty. Not gonna lie. That I like replaying Republic a lot. I should be playing it a little bit more. I've been like grinding and trying to get more tier 9, tier 10 ships in the game. Excuse me. Because you have a very wide horizontal dispersion, but like if we bring this down, you can get the vertical a bit tighter, but be able to reach out with the what is the word I'm looking for? Shell velocity with the AP. Yeah, 840 meters per second. Yeah, I mean you could slap things around a lot because you overmatch 30mm with the 431s. That would be fun. I don't know if Republic necessarily needed it, but it'll be fun. I mean, if they need to keep Republic more relevant, because I mean, you don't get spotters, no hydros, no torps. Like it's literally just 8 guns, and that's it. But you have among the best reload time in the game, 21.12, and you just made it more accurate. Maybe they felt like it was even left behind after the buff they did to Colombo with the unique upgrade. Junon, they increased the hit point pool to 32,500. HE shell parameters changed. Maximum damage increased 1,800, 1,900. Increased fire chance. Torpedo maximum damage increased 17,900 to 18,800. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Bit of a buff there. Because if you took, what was it called? Pack-a-punch? So let's say you were doing the full-blown torpedo build. Yeah, because you're going to push the hit points up even more. I don't know what to do. I'm just like looking at some things. So plus 15% torpedo damage. So let's take that away first. So then torps. It's all down here. Can we hide these things so we can have the torpedoes? 17,900, and then you'd push it over 20,585. And that is that percentage based? Yeah, 15%. So you've only even more. Wow, that's actually like really, really good. And I mean, it's a light cruiser, right? So I mean, you can get citadels kind of easily, but you made the guns a tiny bit more potent with the smoke screen. So okay, tier 10 Italian destroyer, same thing again that we talked about in depth with the tier 7. Sal has received various buffs over time, but we continue to hear feedback from players, volunteers, and community contributors to improve her further. Based on your feedback and suggestions how to make her more comfortable to play, we're widening her turret angles and adding the post-launch turning feature to her torpedoes. We'll keep a close eye on her combat statistics going forward, as the ship already has solid overall performance. So the main battery turret angles, they're improving them. So they're widening each turret. So actually, let me pull up Zal here, because that was one of the things I think I was looking forward to, because I don't play the ship. So you have the second turret, they're improving by 1 degree, widening it, so it's 146, and then this one they're improving by, I think it was 8 degrees. So then both front turrets will be 146. And check that again, right? And then they're widening the third and fourth turret. You see 4 degrees and then 9 degrees. So it was 9 degrees for the fourth turret? 9 degrees per side and 4 degrees for that. So they're taking this to 44. Oh, sorry, not 44. They're 36, and then they're also matching it with their fourth turret, rearmost turret. Okay, that is that's good. Or negative 36, negative 36. That's helpful. And then the torpedo tubes, torpedo turning feature added to the ship. As a result of the addition of this change, the following changes were made. Forward firing angles for all torpedo tubes increased by 10 degrees. So let's look at that first. Yeah. So, what? 0 to 105? 0 is the angle is at the top. Positive is clockwise. Negative is counter. So the red was like you couldn't fire forward. So now they've shaved into it a bit more. And then the other thing was backward firing angles for all torpedo tubes increased by 45 degrees. Okay, so then they brought it back to, what was it, like 145? So, like, I don't know, like this? That helps because Zal's kind of like this, it's not a pushing cruiser, it's definitely like, I think she excels at the kiting with her 12 203s. So like that makes the ship, I mean, I liked it, but I think, yeah, I think that does help for sure. That's something I would welcome. It doesn't make it so bad because with more of the overmatch in the game, like you're having to show decent forward firing angles or when you're kiting away, right? So you couldn't angle your armor as well. Yumahari, Adatata, and Bungo HE shell ballistic parameters change. This result in the flight trajectory becoming flatter, identical to that of the AP shells of the ship. So they did the same thing with the Tsurgi. The following changes to combat instructions conditions were made in order to improve overall playing experience. Specifically in situations when shooting targets that you lose spotting on or while blind firing at a target that's in smoke or behind an obstacle, the amount of progress for fulfilling the new condition has been increased to compensate for the new requirement of direct hits on a target. Hanover and Admiral Ushakov have received additional conditions to complement their gameplay and improve their effectiveness in battle. Additionally, we've made changes to the hydroacoustic search consumable for Hanover and Clausewitz. Although Clausewitz and Hanover perform within tolerances, they fall toward the low end for the super ships. We're giving them some buffs in the form of emphasizing their traditional German strength of long-range hydroacoustic search. So, hang on to your pants for that one. Okay, so Satsuma, the combat instruction parameters changed, removed current progress conditions, and now, yeah, it was only for hits. Added new progress condition, hit an enemy ship within a main battery shell, 8%. What was it now? I wouldn't have minded them actually saying what it was now, just to like help mentally remember where they have things at. Progress lost per interval of 4%. Progress per action 5%. Okay, so they went from 5 to 8. Alright. Admiral Ushakov, combat instruction parameters changed, removed current progress conditions, added new progress conditions, hit an enemy ship with a main battery shell, 6%, received 2,000 potential damage, 0.1. Because I don't think Ushakov had that at all. Like, not even in the slightest. I could be totally wrong, though. Progress per action, 3.5%. Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah, because that makes sense to have potential damage, right? It's a Kremlin, tier 11 Kremlin. Hanover combat instruction parameters changed, removed current progress conditions, added new progress conditions, hit an enemy ship with a main value shell, negative 10%, hit an enemy ship with a secondary gun shell, negative 1.5. So like what you were seeing, right, is what we're getting with Libertad, right? Progress, activate, show me the funny button, duration, 1 second, progress loss, I don't see anything about addition, okay, whatever. So then you should see a little more potency out of, I would say particularly these two ships. Yeah, I've only played the super ships on public test server. Oh, I guess maybe when we had, what was it called, Grand Battles or whatever. I played them on the main server, but it was a different battle type. But because they're so expensive, I've just been focusing on finishing off tier 10 ships, which I've pretty much done outside of submarines and CVs in the game. I do have 3 tier 10 CVs, but so now my goal is to start picking up some of the super ships, particularly Devastation in Jacksonville there. Clausewitz, hydroacoustic search, consumable range increased 6 to 7. That's a pretty significant buff. Yeah. I mean, you're making it, I mean, okay. I was talking about this with my clanmates in ADF, and then was it Toxic Symphony last night. This is typically what happens with supership players. Okay, you get 2 types of supership players in the game. One, supership player is really, really good. Alternatively, supership player really sucks and doesn't understand what they're doing in the game at all. The second, the latter, is more common than the first, right? So, in the hands of skilled players, these ships become even more busted. In the hands of the latter group, is it really a big change? I don't know. But I was curious about, I don't think you get a type of vigilance skill for cruisers, right? It's more the battleships. Sometimes like when I'm trying to think what to say, my eyes decide to shut off when I'm doing these videos. I don't think so. But 7 kilometers, that's pretty busted. So they're just trying to, they're saying we want to increase your survivability is what they're saying with that. Now, on the other hand, with Jacksonville, I was joking with the Toxic Symphony last night because I saw that they were touching Jacksonville because this ship hasn't been out too long, so it's quite a quick nerf for a super ship. Because 18.2, I mean, that's pretty toxic, if you will, to reach out with something like that. I mean, it's like Rooster and you take the range mod, right? But I'm very sad to see this buff because I haven't played the ship yet, and it's a buff version. So maybe I end up having to pick this ship up first before they nerf that. Maybe, I don't know. They're expensive, man. These ships are so expensive. That probably was needed though. We're updating ASW parameters for ships, matching them better with standard values for ships. We're gonna hear a change very frequently requested by our community for battleships Massachusetts and Musashi. Please tell me you're buffing the range. Based on your feedback, we're increasing the range of their depth charge airstrike. This will allow players to be more effective and defend better against submarines. As a trade-off for this improvement, we're reducing the damage per bomb to keep the ship at a similar balance level while significantly improving the usefulness of this armament. Okay. Depth charge airstrike reload time on the Montcalm 30 to 20. Canarius decreased 3 to 1. Bomb damage increased 1600 to 2900. Bomb splash damage range increased for the Canarius. So yeah, it's probably good for these tier 6 guys. FR 25, 2400 to 3200. Yeah, there we go. So Massachusetts and Musashi will now have their range increase from 5 to 10 kilometers, but almost having it halved. Almost. But see, this is like, this literally, I can't even tell you how much, because Massachusetts is, I don't know if maybe I say it's my favorite ship in the game. I mean, definitely if you look at my random stats, it's my most played ship. But I was so annoyed when they brought submarines into the game, because skilled submarine players would understand that if they were hunting you into Massachusetts, they could basically bully you, because they would sit at 7 or 8 kilometers away from you and torpedo you, and you could do nothing to deter them. So it was like, you know, a pinata hanging, and you can't fight back. It's basically what it was. So I do welcome this, even if it means losing the damage, because now submarine player might have to use brain a little bit more. I don't know if they needed to go that hard, like, I don't know, 4,200 to like 3,000 or something maybe. So I don't know, that's a bit of a hefty buff, nerf in that regard, but I do welcome this. So I know players who've been running this like forever, since they first brought subs into the game, and then they put a 5-kilometer range on Massachusetts. Like, it was just absurd. The orange, as I call it, is getting 10 depth charges via 8. The Z42, I just picked up this ship. Depth charge damage increased to 2,200 to 2,400. Number of depth charges increased 8 to 12. Also very nice and good to see here. And then we have the Aegir and Siegfried in Mekong. Number of depth charge airstrike bombs decreased from 3 to 2. Bomb damage increased 1,600 to 4,200. Okay, I think actually I would gladly take that, just to have a higher alpha hit, even though it doesn't mean I don't get 3. Bomb slash damage range increased as well. That's actually really good. And that brings it to a close. So what am I most positive about in reviewing the dev blog? I mean, most everything is buffs. This would definitely be a top 3 change. Gladly welcome. I can't imagine poor Musashi players. I mean, you're not even as maneuverable as the Massachusetts, you know, the South Dakota class battleship. You're a Musashi, and you can only reach out 5 kilometers away. I bet the Musashi players were even more upset than Massachusetts players. I don't have Musashi, but that's a really good change. Let's see about this. I mean, it does make sense in terms of the like potential damage for them to add that into the funny button on Admiral Ushakov. Zhao, that's probably one of the other top 3 things I'm very positive towards. That's very good. And honestly, maybe the other thing I needed to say is just like the Italian destroyers. They need something. I mean, they're the worst. They are the worst tech tree line in the game. Like, the worst. Like, they were, like, I just finished, I don't know, like last month, I finished grinding out the line or whatever, because I was pushing it off forever, because the line is insufferable to play. I mean, Adriatico, let me just show you, okay? Let me show you a tier 10 Italian destroyer. Okay, so your stock torpedoes, you start off with only doing 10,000 damage, and you get 8 of them. You improve them, you go up to 12,667. So now maybe with torpedo protection belt of like battleships and or else, yeah, battleships, you know, let's say now you're gonna do 7,000 to 8,000, maybe 9,000. I don't know. Depends on the battleship's torpedo belt protection. Okay, and 56 knot speed, and but let's say we kind of like buff it, help it out. Keep in mind the reload time for these guys was 90 seconds. So let's say we buffed, so now 76 seconds. Now we're getting 58 knots. We want the torpedoes to go a little bit faster. Wasn't there a combat skill for that? Not that one, 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 not that one. This one? That's just causing flooding. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken here. I thought there was a combat signal that helped with that speed of your torps. I don't think so. I must have been daydreaming. I don't remember. Anyhow, okay. So even if you went like full like let's say you did something like, I don't know, like that, because I think the turret traverse time is pretty abysmal, so we just improved it a little bit. Oh, then I should probably, for the heck of it, throw this in. So then, you know, now that's up to 32.5, but then take into effect the changes, you know, without, that was 25, so now it's like, what was that? 60 seconds. Oh, I missed that. That's X60. So tier 9, 60. Yeah, then 40 still for the others. So that's actually really good. So you're getting a massive buff with the engine power now. But I mean, your gun range is 8.6 for a tier 10 destroyer. That if you kind of do a little bit of a hybrid mix build here, we can get to down to 4.75 second reload time with anemic torpedoes. So you have terrible guns and you have very weak hitting, light hitting torpedoes, right? I mean, why play the ship? You can't YOLO full health targets, and I mean, they probably don't want you to. That's Adriatico, I'm sorry. Gallo. Let me go up to the more higher tiered one here. I'm raving about a tier 10 and it's not even, we're only at the tier 9. Okay, so 13,900. And then let's say you kind of did stuff like, let's say we kept the same concept. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know, you probably, I don't know, maybe you'd be doing something like that instead. So again, it's still 13,900 and your gun range is 9.6 with a 5.5 second reload time. So it's just like, although I think with the, sorry, we're about to end this. I've been talking for a while now, but if you had the torpedo tubes, let's see, because part of it was you try to time the reload time of your torps with the smoke, which has a cooldown of 80 seconds. And then also tied, I think, a bit with your engine boost. So let's see. So the torpedoes now reload 68.85 seconds. Your smoke comes off at 80-second cooldown time. Engine boost is now, well, it'll be 100 in, is it 100? 120, 2 minutes. So usually you were kind of like lingering around for your smoke screen. So then you would see maybe something more like this, and you let your torpedoes reload a little longer to wait for as your next smoke screen would come off cooldown time. But you know, so let's say that was the case. So but it's 8 torpedoes, 81-second reload time that hit for almost 14,000 each, with now a 4.8 second reload time. So I think that was a little bit more the flavor you saw with the ship. Still with the torpedoes going 61 knots. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the worst line in the game, so they needed something. So, but that's probably the 3 overall favorable changes. I would say that my top 3. But with that, I digress. We're gonna bring the video to a close. If you liked this video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. And until next time, take care.